everybody, Jess here again from Meadows Flowers, an artisan little cut flower farm and florist from mid Staffordshire. So you may have just seen in our previous video getting hyacinth bulbs all planted out. Now what I want to do is get some of the forces of the early Narcissi, so for cutting, planted up. So I need to get some planted in pots for sale and some planted just to stay in the polytunnel for cutting, either for the house or to sell as bunches. So the two sorts of different Narcissi here. I've got the Erlicheer, which is that slightly creamier, really fragrant Narcissi, and I've got the Bridal crown, which are a little bit more of a, as the name suggests, bridal pure white. So I'm going to start with some for pots to start with. So these pots, I'm going to have some for sale, and I'm probably going to put some in the house as well to give a nice bit of early scent and colour. So this is a nice 21cm terracotta pot. Again, nice hole in the bottom for some drainage. What you'll notice is this pot is quite a bit deeper than the pot I use for the hyacinths. So because hyacinths need planting on the surface, you'll get away with a really nice shallow dish. But because I need to bury these bulbs, we need a pot with a bit more depth to it. So we'll start with the Erlicheer. So as before, we're going to get a bit of compost in the bottom of my pot. Now these do need burying, so these are going to need a little bit of depth to them. So again, chuck a bulbs when they come out. Look at the size of that baby. Really good, fat, healthy bulbs, again from Parker's Wholesale. So I'm going to pop these in, if you can see that. I'm going to pop them in so I can bury them with the compost. So have a look how many we're going to get round here. These can go in really quite close together because these are going in the house, and I'm going to use them as a really nice decoration. So I've managed to get 5 bulbs in that pot. Some have got little babies on the side, but 5 good bulbs in this pot. They're not touching, just about. There we go. And now I'm going to cover them with compost. So again, this is a really good quality multi-purpose compost. Because it's a bulb, they don't need packing down. They're quite happy with it nice and loose in here. Just a little bit of firming down with my hand. So once again, I'm going to make this look a little bit nicer for going in the house. So we'll get our scoop and we'll top it up with a bit of this gravel. You're going to get a nice layer of horticultural grit all over the top of this pot. Lovely. Now the one thing I mustn't forget to do now, because I've got 2 different sorts, is I mustn't forget to label my pots. So got a plant label, and these are Erlicheer. Now I don't know about you, but I've always struggled with my labels wearing out and them fading really quickly. Top tip, this is the best pen ever. This is a Stedtler permanent Lumicolor fine tip pen. Get them from Amazon, come in a pack of 2. They will revolutionise your plant labelling, trust me. So that's the Erlicheer. I'm now going to do the same with some Bridal crown. So again, I'm going to pop a good bit of compost in the bottom, and we're going to use the Bridal crown bulbs this size. Now interestingly, both of these are size 12-14 bulbs, but there is quite a bit of difference between the Erlicheer and the Bridal crown bulbs, just how they are this year. But again, I'm going to pop these in. I'm going to work my way around the edge of my pot, not touching the edge, not touching each other. Quite a few of these bulbs, as you'll see, are quite multi-lobed, so we should get loads and loads of good stems. I suppose that fits for the bridal crown because they tend to produce 5 or 6 stems per bulb. So I've got 5 round there. Got a little weeny one, so we'll take a risk and we'll pop him in the middle. So I've actually got 6 bulbs in this pot. Again, let's cover it over nice and loosely. Really good quality multi-purpose compost. Give it a gentle, firm down. Then we're going to get some of this grit, cover the top of my pot. And we'll label these as well. So, got my pen, got another label, give it a bit of a clean, and then these are bridal crown. Now these 2 pots, because I'm hoping and crossing my fingers I might be able to get these flowering for Christmas, these are going to get good water and they're going to go straight in the warm in the house. So unlike the hyacinths, I don't want to be putting these in the dark. I'm going to put these straight in the warm in the house and hope we're going to get some flowers for Christmas. So that's my 2 pots for the house. I've got a load more there that I'll get done fairly shortly, but I've got loads and loads of these bulbs and I'm not going to have them all in pots in the house. I want some that are going to stay here in the tunnel and hopefully flower that a little bit later, but give me some really nice spring colour and scent. So I've just got some very generic long tubs. As you can see, they're pretty old, they've had lettuce in them. They're just utilitarian, but they'll just sit in the polytunnel and get tucked under the staging. So again, going to get my compost. Again, these bulbs are going to need to go fairly deep, so we're not going to get much depth of compost below them, but they don't need that deep a root run. It's just important that I've covered my bulbs. So yeah, good layer of compost in the bottom, a little bit more than that. Again, firm it down. It's a bulb, it doesn't need to be packed down because it wants to get its roots down. Again, every time we're going to look at our bulb quality, check each bulb as we go. I have no idea how many I'm going to get in here, so we'll count as we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, here's a nice one. Look at him. Gorgeous bulbs. These are absolutely over the moon with these bulbs. So that's 6 we've got in. 7, 8, 9, get him in there, and 10. So I've got 10 in this long trough. I'd better get some more troughs from somewhere then, because I've got 50 of these to do and I've got 50 of the bridal crown. So if I can try and get probably 25 in pots, so as I said, I've got some there to be able to sell as lovely table centres, get the rest in these tubs in the polytunnel. They'll then hopefully come into flower. I think February they were last year, the ones I did. So we're going to bury these completely over. Try not to cover my hyacinth pots in compost because that will just completely defeat the object of what I've just done with the gravel. So normally if I was planting things like Narcissi in the ground, I don't want to bury my bulb 3 to 4 times the depth of the actual bulb itself. But because I'm doing these in pots, I think, as I said in the highest before, we can get away with having these a lot shallower. So just give it a gentle pat down. Don't need to do anything with these, don't need to top it off because it's going to stay in the tunnel. But the one thing I will do is I'll make sure again I've labelled these so I know which ones they are. Doesn't need to be my best label. Let's have a little bit of a rummage round. That one will do, so it's like a smaller label. And these are Erlicheer. So again, they'll get a good water. They'll probably come under the staging here in the polytunnel. But as always, if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. I'm going to get the bridal crown potted on, see if I can get the rest of these done, and I'll catch you soon.